It's on literal equations and formulas, guys. Literal equations means you're going to have more than one variable in your equation. You're going to be manipulating the equation by moving things around just like you did on all the others. But instead of having just like one x in the problem, you're going to have x and y and a and b and all these different things. And you just have to move them around just like you do the numbers. Excuse me. So here are the first ones. It says solve each equation for the variable indicated. They have to tell you what variable to solve for. If they don't, you can't do the problem. For each one of these, they tell you what variable that you're going to have to find in the problem. Here they are. Okay? Without that, you can't do anything. That's really important that you understand that. Literal equations, you're going to solve them. You have to know which one you're solving for. To do this first problem, we're going to be trying to get the y by itself. If this was a number here like 5x is equal, 5y is equal to 10, what will we do to solve this problem to get the y by itself? Divide by 5. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to divide by 5. It's going to make it y equals x over 5. That's it. You're done. How do you know you're done? Because it says y equals. And what we were looking for was y. Don't make it more complicated than it is. Okay? This next one. We're trying to get the x together. Now guys, you see there's x's on both sides. So I need all the x's to go to one side. Which x would you move away from the other stuff? Go ahead and say it. I would move the 4x because that's going to move it away from the g. It's not right or wrong. It's just going to be, if you move the x, guys, you end up with a 0, and then people get really confused. It messes people up. This cancels out. We get the opposite of g. Guys, you don't say negative and then a variable. You say the opposite of g. And then we deal with this. This is a 1. It's never written there. 1 minus 4 would put us at negative 3x. Those are like terms. We're combining them. We just use a calculator. We do 1 minus 4. That's it. Now, is the x completely by itself? No. What do we still have to do? Divide by negative 3. That's exactly right. That means the negative and the 3 cancel out. All we have left on this side is x, which that's our goal, is to get the x by itself. So we've done that. Now we just have to write this out. Guys, what's a negative divided by a negative? Positive, and it's just going to be g over 3. That's it. Right. Anybody ever heard of slope-intercept form? That's really why we do this, is to build up to that, manipulating the y and the x around to deal with the equation of a line, this point slope form, all that. That's what this is kind of leading into, just so kind of the people that have seen that know where we're headed. Okay, for this one, we're solving for b. We need everything else to go to the other side. To do that, we're going to minus 12c, minus 12c. We need to get that b by itself. So we cancel that out. We get 5b equals 9a minus 12c. Guys, why am I not putting them together? They're not what? They're not like terms. They're different variables. All those things are correct. I can't put, I'm just writing them in order. That's all I'm doing. Alphabetical order. That's it. Okay, from there, you're going to divide everything to get rid of this 5. So you're going to divide both sides by 5. And it's going to be b equals 9a minus 12c all over 5. Now I will tell you, just so you know in the future, we will write this a little differently as we get into slope-intercept form. We will take and get rid of that number on the bottom, but for now, we're just doing the basics. We're just building up. So just leaving it as 5 on the bottom is fine. So far, any questions? Okay, on the next one, how do I get the b by itself? What's the first thing that's causing a problem? Guys, do you see the fraction? it's tied up in a fraction. If it's in a fraction, you can't get to it. So the first thing you gotta do is get rid of this fraction. So you got this 3 down here. To get rid of that, we're gonna multiply both sides by 3. That's gonna cancel out. We get a minus b is equal to, guys, when you multiply a number times a variable, all you do is write them together. The number goes in front and you write it as 3c. That's it. Now what's keeping the b from being by itself? The a. How do we get rid of that a though? It's positive. Subtract a. It's 1a, but we don't say it. We just do minus a, but it's perfectly fine to say it. We just don't write it. We just write minus a minus a. It's going to make it the opposite of b equals. Now on this one, I'll tell you that putting things in alphabetical order is really important, so I'm going to write it in alphabetical order. I need you to work on getting that down. So this would be the opposite of a, and then the 3c would go behind it. What sign do I put in front of the 3c because it's positive? Whoa, what? If it's positive, what goes in front of it? Plus. There you go. Okay. Is it done? Is b all by itself? No, what's wrong with it? The negative. How do we get rid of a negative? We divide by -1. Our final answer is going to be b equals. Now, what happens to the two negatives here? They just cancel, and you just get a. Bless you. You just get a. If you have a positive and a negative, what's it going to turn out to be, guys? A negative, so it's going to be a minus sign. And 3 divided by 1 is going to be 3c. Guys, what did I do? The dividing by -1 does nothing but change the what? Signs. That's exactly correct. All I'm doing is changing the signs. Good. That's all I'm doing. Don't make that into more than it is. When you divide by -1 or multiply by -1, all you're doing is changing the signs. Nice. Anybody have any concerns, questions, anything so far? No. Interesting. I usually get some questions in here. Okay. Anybody have anything else before I move to the next one? A couple people still write and let them get done. Yeah, take your time and ask, please. Okay, on example 4. Starting from the beginning, do you understand I've got to get rid of the fraction, and to get rid of a fraction, since it's division, I multiply. That part's okay. So when I cancel that out, what's left is the a minus b, and on the other side, 3 times c is 3c. So far, so good. Okay, now, to get rid of this a, if I had a positive number here, let's say I had 5 minus x equals 10. How would I get rid of that 5? I would subtract 5 from both sides. So instead of subtracting 5, I'm subtracting a from both sides. Okay, that cancels out. That brings down that opposite of b. I have to bring down the whole thing, the opposite of b. And then these are the two things I need to write. I need to write 3c minus a. But guys, why wouldn't I write it in that order? Not alphabetical order. So the only thing about that is I put the a in front. So when I put the a in front, I put this whole thing in front. So it's going to be that minus a, or the opposite of a. And then the 3c is going to go behind it. So I write plus 3c. Guys, anything that's positive has a plus sign in front of it. A little bit better. And then just divide everything by -1. Okay. And guys, if you stop, if any step along that way it doesn't make sense, you stop and say, wait, I can try to show it by numbers or something else. I will try something else. Sometimes somebody in the class can explain it better than I can in your words, and that's okay. However you get it. Okay, guys. You're good. Take your time. Got it? Okay, I just want to make sure before we went on. Okay, guys, here we go. For the next one, we're trying to get to y. This problem is very much a slope-intercept form problem. It's actually going to look like a slope-intercept form problem. So, guys, when you have this problem, we're solving for y. We want to get y by itself, so we need to move the 3x to the other side. It's positive. To make a positive move to the other side, we're going to subtract it. That's going to make it 4y is equal to, now guys, when you have a variable and a non-variable, the variable term goes first. So we're going to write the negative 3x in front and the 18 in back. What sign goes in front of the 18 because it's positive? Plus. Now what's the only thing keeping this from being slope-intercept form? What's keeping it from being y equals? Is the y by itself? No, the 4's there. So we got to get rid of this, so we're going to divide both sides by 4, which makes it y equals negative 3x plus 18, all divided by 4. Now, we're going to head to writing this, as I talked about, in a more simplified form for slope-intercept form. Eventually, chapter, I think it's 5, we will be taking this and going one step further. You do not need to write this down. I'm just showing you this because if you want to go ahead and go there, you can. Some people want to go ahead and get to that point that they need to. You would, instead of writing it together, you would write it separately, put the 4 over here, and put the 4 over here, and then you would simplify it. It would make it y equals negative 3/4 x plus, this would reduce down to 9 over 2. Listen, you don't have to write that down. I'm just showing you because I like to know where it's going. This is a slope-intercept form problem where this would be your slope and this would be your y-intercept. We're going to graph with that eventually. These are all things we're leading up to. I just like you to know where we're going and why we're doing the problems we're doing. Okay, let's go to the next one. On this one, guys, I want to get to the x. What's wrong with the x? It's in fractions. So get rid of the fraction first thing. Multiply everything by 5. Okay, it's going to make it 4x plus 5h equals 5e. Okay. Now, is the x by itself? No. What needs to move first? Oh, we don't want to divide by 4 because then we make fractions right here. We want to get what's added or subtracted move first. Move that first, guys. So it's going to be minus 5h minus 5h. You could do that, but you just create a fraction that has to be moved. It gets more complicated. You don't need to do that. So it's going to be 4x is equal to 5e minus 5h. Now deal with the what? 4. Now deal with the 4 and make it x equals 5e minus 5h all over 4. Again, I'll say it again. We can go from here and go further, but we're not going to yet. Okay. Questions, concerns, anything before? I think I've got 2 more than my word problems. Yep.
I'm confused why do you have to multiply the h by 5 to become 25?
You have to, if you don't have to multiply it then, you could wait and do it, you could do it this way. 4/5 x plus 5 equals e plus h, sorry, trying to write the original problem, equals e. You could move the h first, minus h, makes it 4/5 x equals e minus h, and then multiply everything by 5. But no matter when you multiply it, you're going to have to multiply it by 5 because when you multiply to get rid of a denominator, you have to multiply every single term in the problem, not just one on one side and one on the other. Does that make more sense? You could do it either place. You're going to have to do it no matter which place you choose to do it. Good question. Anybody else? Nice. Okay, guys, here we go. Last 2 before we do this. Now, this is going to require you to do something that goes backwards in your mind. Guys, look at 7. Do you see the x? That's what we're trying to solve for, is the x. But do you see that x is tied up in both of them, here and here, here and here? You see it's in both of them? But can I combine them? One has an a, one has a b. Can I put those together? No. Okay, so what we have to do is, it's called factor. It's like distributive property going back. Remember how we multiply it across? Now we're going to take it out, which is something we do a tremendous amount in our second semester. This is kind of previewing some of that as well. You're going to take this x and you are going to take it out instead of putting it in, and it's going to go out in front. When you take that x out in front, it's like dividing both of them by x. What's going to happen to the two x's? Well, wait a minute. What happens to an x if it's on top and on bottom? It cancels out. So what's the only thing left to go inside your parentheses? A plus b equals c. Now that we have the x factored out, we can get rid of the a plus b all at one time by dividing both sides by a plus b. Because it's all in a parentheses, I can cancel it all out at one time. Which is going to make it x equals c over what? A plus b. Now, a plus b is very different than ab. I heard somebody say that. It's okay, but be careful. That's different. C over a plus b. You got to have that plus there. Yep. Why? Say that one more time. Hold on. Very good question. Let's look at it. Let's try multiplying. If I had x out here and I had a plus b on the inside, if I multiply x times a, that's going to make it what? Ax. You put the a in front just because of alphabetical order. You're right, but it's just got to go in alphabetical order. And then do the same thing here. X times b is going to be bx. So it doesn't give you two. It's actually taking one out of two separate things. But it is still only 1x. Usually if you see it going forward, then it makes more sense than coming out. Is that better? Okay, let's do it again. So on this one, do y'all see this exact same? I did two problems almost identical so you could see it, so you could practice it again. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to take the x out. X is going to go on the outside. And if I divide both of these by x, see if we can get this now. If I divide both of them by x, the x's are just going to cancel. What's going to go on the inside? Be careful. D plus 1. D plus 1. Guys, what's 5 divided by 5? 1. What's 10 divided by 10? 1. What's x divided by x? 1. Guys, dividing anything by itself is 1. So no matter what, if you cancel them both out, it's going to leave you that 1 when you're dividing like that. Good. And it's equal to e. And then we do the exact same thing. What are we dividing by? D plus 1. D plus 1. Makes all that go away. Why can we do them both at the same time? Because they're in a parentheses. And it makes it x equals e over d plus 1. Nice. Okay, guys. So the next two problems are word problems. They look terrible. Guys, they're not. They're actually really easy. Don't let them be a big deal because they're word problems. Here we go. Okay. Oh, wait. I apologize. I didn't ask. I usually try to ask. What is it that you have a question about? Anybody see anything? No? Okay. Sorry. I usually try to ask to make sure everybody's ready. Okay. So we've got a formula. They tell you the formula right here. Write it down. Area equals length times width. Where L is the length and W is the width, we need to solve for W. Guys, we're just trying to get the W by itself. What's keeping the W from being by itself? The L. Just divide by L. It makes it A over L is equal to W. That's it. You're done with that one. That's it. Don't make them harder than they are. Now on the bottom, we're going to use this formula. We're going to use this W equals A over L to plug into to get this information that's down here at the bottom. It says, what is the width? So we do not know the width, so it's going to stay W. Okay? From there, you're going to take and you're going to put the area on top. What is the area? Read the problem. What's the area? That's the 324. What, Sweetie? Hello? You need to ask a question. You need to ask. I'm going to continue to do this, so you need to ask if you have. Don't get frustrated. This is very early to get frustrated. On the bottom, the L. What is the L going to be? 12. And then, guys, what is it that you do to get this answer? All you do is what? Divide. Divide it. What is 324 divided by 12? 27. There you go. And your answer, guys, does need to be an answer. So it's going to be 27 what? Whoa, which one is it? This is the length, or the width, I apologize. The width. Is the width square units? No, the width is just regular old feet. Now, someone said square units, that's what the area is. The area is always going to be in that. Okay, guys, last one. Let's take a look at it. Sweetie, that's going to be mine before the end of the day. You keep doing that. It's the last time I'm warning you. If I see it again, it's going to be mine. Okay, here we go. The formula is volume equals pi r squared h. Pi r squared h. R is the radius, h is the height, pi is pi. What's the normal number for pi that most people accept as using? 3.14 is the normal accepted number. Is it really 3.14? No, the number never ends. It's called an irrational number. It's just usually used as a symbol, or 3.14. 22 over 7 is also equivalent. Okay, here we go. We want to solve this for h. Guys, listen to me. This is not as hard as it looks. This is all multiplication. If we want to undo multiplication, we're going to divide. What do we need to divide by? To get h by itself, what needs to go to the other side? Pi r squared. You need to get rid of everything that is not the h. Since it's multiplication, you can divide by everything you don't want. So the pi and the r squared both cancel out, and our answer is going to be volume over pi r squared equals h. Well, we solved for h. Last one is going to be to plug it in down here to this problem to find the height. We want to find height, so we're going to use this formula. H equals volume over pi r squared. H equals volume over pi r squared. And we're going to plug into it. What is the volume? Look through that whole problem and find me the volume. Everybody says it different. 1810, 1810, however you say it. It's the right number. On the bottom, pi is going to stay 3.14 because that's what they tell you to use for pi. So we're going to put 3.14. And what is the radius? Read. 12. So it's going to be 12, and it is squared. Now, guys, you need your calculator. Grab it. Let's do the math for this. Do 3.14 times 12 squared first. Before you do anything on the top, don't worry about the frac. Do that part of it only first. It's going to be a decimal. No, can't be. Didn't hit the square button. Do y'all know how to use the square button on here? Okay, let's make sure, because I got a couple people in. Do you see, where is it on this one? This little arrow, see this little arrow, guys, that's going up on this side? It looks like this. It's a key that looks like this. It's called a caret. That's what it's called. I know it sounds weird, but it's what it's called. This caret lets you go up to put an exponent. Okay? You also have a square button that's right below it, the x squared. If you want to just do squared, you can do that one. But that one lets you put in any exponent. So when you type this in, it'd be 3.14. And then you do times 12. Use the arrow and put 2 equals. It should give you 452.16. Now you're going to do your division. Now you need to type in the 1810 divided by the 452.16. Now be careful, because we are rounding to the nearest foot, which means the nearest whole number. We need the nearest whole number for this. H is going to equal, what is it on the calculator? Okay, so it's got a lot of zeros. It's really close to 4. So that's not even one we have to try to figure out very hard. It's 4.00 dot dot dot. It keeps going on. That's an easy one to round. That's going to put you at 4 what? You guys got to have a unit. It's a word problem. Got to answer it. It's going to be 4 feet. There you go. Nicely done. Questions? Yep.
Whenever I put these was on 12
Squared.
square, it said it was an error.
Okay. Come show me how you're typing. Anybody else? Okay, guys. Take your notes and put that in your folder. Please